Hi everyone, I'm Abbey and I am an autism advocate, and today we are out and about asking people what they know about autism for World Autism Understanding Day. What do you think that we as a society can do to make autistic people feel included?
Maybe spreading awareness about what it actually means and across the spectrum, sort of how broad it is, and sort of making people aware of that more and educating more people from earlier on maybe.
I think it's a matter of just understanding that autism is a really broad spectrum and that everybody is different and unique, and actually just allowing people to be who they are.
Do you know what autism is and how would you describe it?
Well, I understand that, it is a disability. There's no limit to what the individual can do. I understand it's a condition that's affected a lot of people.
Hi, I'm Angus, and we are out here doing interviews with the public for World Autism Understanding Day to see how much they know about autism. Hey, so what do you know about autism?
Look, I know it's a really prevalent problem. I know that it encompasses a spectrum of things. I know that it's probably not adequately acknowledged in the community.
I know that autism is a spectrum and that everyone experiences it differently. I've worked in disability care for a few years and volunteered in disability care, so I've had quite a bit of exposure to different profiles of autism and different experiences with autism spectrum disorder, so mostly that it's experienced differently by everyone.
I just know that there are people that struggle with a lot of sensory issues, and that typically separates them from society.
Hello, my name is Bethany. I'm here today talking to people out on the street to see what they know about autism for World Autism Understanding Day. What do you know about autism, or do you know anybody that is autistic?
Yes, quite a few of my relatives are autistic or on the spectrum.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, same here. I have a fair few relatives on the spectrum.
Oh, wow, nice. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I just have a very good friend who has the condition, and she's mostly perfectly, but then I can't tell much about that.
Yeah, no, that's all right.
I don't know a lot, and I don't specifically know anyone. I guess I have a general understanding to a certain degree.
Yeah, no, nice. What do you think as a society we can do to make autistic people feel more comfortable and accepted?
I think taking into consideration what small changes we can make, so whether it be in the workplace or schools, so making maybe spaces more sensory accessible for people with autism, or taking in that they might just need work to be a little bit different for them to kind of make more inclusive spaces.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, good answer. And yourself?
Yeah, I think focus more on changing the environment and other people's perspectives than trying to change the individual themselves. I think education is a big part, so educating yourself on what autism is and what it can look like between different people.
Yeah. I think to make them much more interesting. From my understanding, someone with autism can be very involved and very enchanted by aspects of, maybe colour, decoration, interaction.
Okay, so I think diversity is very important nowadays. So maybe to include people with this condition is very important to get the right spaces, the proper infrastructure for helping them.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
What can employers do to include autistic people in their place of employment?
Obviously, there's a lot of things they can do. Ideally, a quiet room or a breakout room. But it's just generally understanding when you employ somebody and give them the opportunities that they deserve, that you actually structure their work days and the surroundings to help them cope and achieve what they want to achieve, not to make it difficult, to actually make them successful.
Making them feel more accepted and open to employment opportunities, and sort of making them feel more comfortable reaching out to what their goals are employment-wise.
Well, lovely to talk to you, Jaden, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Do you know anyone who's autistic or might be autistic?
I know lots of people who have, I'm sort of a parent of young kids. I know other parents that have children with autism or Asperger's or on the spectrum.
Yeah, I mean, I've volunteered in disability care since I was in high school, and so I've had a few experiences working with different people with autism and who live with autism, and some friends in my life as well.
I'm sure that I know a lot of people that have autism, but I'm not too sure I can't think of anyone that's been diagnosed, but I think it's probably a lot more common than we all understand or are aware of.
What do you think workplaces can do to make the workplace environment like more inclusive for autistic people?
I wish I knew the answer to that. I truly do not. It is a hard one. I'm sure that just being totally open to the opportunity, to give people an opportunity, and maybe even if they do it on a trial basis, so allow 3 to 6 months to see if someone adapts well to their work environment or not. Do it on a basis where it's a let's test this and see, rather than having a no. Maybe just more flexibility around that.
Yeah, definitely. That's a really great answer.
How do you think people, especially school students living with autism, how do you think it's best to support them?
I think probably just communicating with the individual to understand what needs they have and how best to access support for them and communicate in their world, and how that kind of communication is best achieved.
I think, obviously, that's a huge question. But I mean, with empathy to start with.
That's a great start.
Basically, and understanding. And I'd love to see services available, across the board, regardless of your ability to pay for them. But I think that's hugely important.
I think just being kinder. If everyone was just kind and just be more understanding and be more patient.